Hey everyone, it's Bob from US Gamer. Happy Halloween! Or, if you're watching this on some other day, Happy some other day! Now, I'm here to talk to you about zombies. Yes, zombies. You know, those things that appear in roughly 95% of all modern video games. The concept of the zombie as we know it best comes from George Romero's 1968 horror classic, Night of the Living Dead, which kinda ripped the idea off of a short story from Richard Matheson, but that's besides the point. Now, some would say zombies represent fear of our own mortality, but I say they more likely represent our fear of slowly getting ripped apart and devoured by corpses, but you make the call. So now that we know what a zombie is, let's go over a few cherry-picked uses of this creature throughout gaming history. It's important to remember that Night of the Living Dead showed us that zombies weren't really all that strong. Sure, they had power in numbers, but the real enemy was man's inhumanity towards man. You know, the whole we are the walking dead thing. So, in older games, zombies are typically some of the weaker enemies you'll fight. Castlevania usually offers a long hallway full of the shambling dead early on in the game to give you a sense of empowerment before those damn Medusa heads strip it away minutes later. Even if they won't stop spawning, you still have to pity a creature that explodes into pieces after being smacked with a leather whip. It's safe to say zombies were kind of pushovers in the 8 and 16-bit days. Just take a look at Earthbound. This RPG features a zombie uprising, and while it's only limited to a single town, you'd think the citizens would be a little more creeped out. But it's mostly business as usual for the people of Threed. And to top it off, this horde of the undead is dispatched via the efforts of 3 preteens. Now let's get it together, zombies. Maybe they need a leadership seminar or something. Of course, it's safe to say zombies wouldn't be such a big deal in gaming if it wasn't for Capcom's Resident Evil. To be fair, the zombies in this game are weak and slow, but your complete lack of resources makes them pretty dangerous. With each room and hallway, you're presented with a choice: keep them alive and risk getting munched later, or kill them with the precious few bullets available. And the GameCube remake added a twist to this little problem. Every zombie you kill in Don't Burn rises again later in the game as a stronger, meaner, and faster opponent. It's a pretty cruel surprise, but I guess we can thank Capcom for teaching us proper zombie disposal techniques.
Okay, it's game time.
Nearly 10 years later, Capcom would shake things up with zombies that weren't actually zombies, though you really shouldn't be a stickler about that kind of stuff. Resident Evil 4 changed the typical shambling, rotting creature driven by their lizard brain instincts into a new beast altogether, one that could use weapons, dodge your attacks, and give commands to their fellow allies. And, much like in the remake of the first Resident Evil, this 4th chapter delivers one hell of a twist. It's conventional wisdom to go for the head when attacking a zombie, but doing this in Resident Evil 4 often reveals a wriggly head creature that takes even more bullets to put down. Again, these things aren't really zombies, but who cares? In Valve's co-op shooter Left 4 Dead, zombies retain their old school weaknesses, but advances in the last generation of hardware meant it was now possible to render dozens upon dozens of these things at a time. And while they can't do so much damage on their own, a series of zombie encounters can easily whittle your health down to nothing. For the most part, standard zombies in the Left 4 Dead series really only serve as a distraction, so the superpowered special zombies can do their work. And yes, they're not technically dead either, but I don't suggest starting a dialogue with them on this subject. And finally, we have Dead Rising. Capcom returned to the zombie well, but this time around, the undead aren't really a force to be reckoned with. In fact, Frank West's biggest problem can be found in all the psychopaths using this zombie outbreak to live out their darkest fantasies. Still, zombies have a major presence. I mean, this is called Dead Rising, isn't it? Though they mostly exist to be humiliated and destroyed with an array of creative weaponry. If you can pick something up, you can probably kill a zombie with it. Keep in mind a mannequin leg is one of Dead Rising's deadliest weapons. And if standard tactics don't work, just hop in a car and ride through that zombie pack maintenance tunnel until you run over enough of them to get one of the game's most annoying achievements. And that's your zombie history lesson for today. Check out usgamer.net for more explorations of the undead, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.